thought I saw the lights when I drove up. I'm glad I caught you.
Maggie.
I brought this for Andy. I figured you'll see her before I will. Is something wrong?
Do you...
Sure, why?
Do you have any idea how late it is? What do you think this is? Grand Central Station? Just come in and drop in whenever you feel like it?
Todd Manning, owner and publisher of The Sun, and his wife Blair Daimler Manning, owner of Melodor, the fast-rising beauty company, begin their honeymoon this week in London. From there, they will continue their honeymoon with exotic, romantic locations throughout the world. I finally found the true meaning of happily ever after, said the lovely Mrs. Manning.
Not a good sign talking to yourself.
Oh, Vicky.
Believe me, I know.
Well, I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. Look at this. Well, wait a minute. Right there. I finally found the true meaning of happily ever after. How long do you think it'll last this time, With Blair and Todd, how long can happiness possibly last? Blair! Blair, are you down here?
Make the call, Dory.
What's the matter with you? I was trying to sleep. No. She's not in the kitchen.
No,
of
she's
course
upstairs.
not. Oh, gosh. Andrew, call the doorman.
On my way ahead.
She's gone to look for Todd. The point
Hello?
is, how long ago?
Yes. We're looking for Mrs. Manning. Has she left the building
She
yet?
realized she's risking her life and
What
the
did
life
they
of the
say?
baby.
Check in with the doorman, Dory. Hello? Come on, please. Talk to me, please. Not there.
If you see him, call the police. Patrick Thornhart is a liar and he's dangerous.
But I'm confused, Mr. Keneally. You said you liked Patrick. You said we were perfect together. We met and we kissed on the night of a full Irish moon.
I know what I told you, girl, but I was dreadfully wrong. Now I'm telling you different.
Why? What happened to make you change your mind?
Some men talk grand talk, and I was an old fool, and you were, a loving fool. There's not a crumb of good in that man. He's a murderer, do you understand me? A killer. But everything the man told us was a lie. And the police have a witness. He beat his girlfriend, and he killed her above in Belfast.
What?
Yes, the man is notorious all over Dublin for the violence of his temper.
But he said Siobhan was a government agent.
More bloody blarney. They said that he used the same gun on the two people. First his girlfriend, and then the Quilligan fella. The police want him in the worst possible way.
It can't be the same man, not Patrick.
As I said, some men have the grand talk, but neither of us knew the real Patrick Thornhart. So if you see him or hear from him, don't listen. Call the police. And above all, for your own sake, do not trust him.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
You called in this crap?
I called Keneally to thank him for everything because, well, I've been trying for a couple of days, but the inn was closed.
I heard my name, Margaret.
He's upset. There's a lot of things in the paper about you, and I was assuring him that everything's all right.
But everything's not all right, is it? Everything's changed. And after what the man's read, he doesn't trust me anymore, and neither do you, do you?
Patrick,
Come on, Margaret. Tell me the truth. Get it out.
Too late. She left the building.
Where?
She took a cab to the airport.
I'm going to call the terminal.
I don't think she's going to answer a page. She doesn't want to be stopped. She's going to get on her jet. She's going to take off.
Hello? Airport security, please. No, you can't put me on hold.
You know, if I were Blair, I'd probably do the same thing.
No, I don't think you would. I don't think you'd put your life and the baby's in danger.
Andrew, if I heard that you were dead and there was no body,
I would do what I had to find out the truth. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't.
But I think I could stand here waiting for them all day. She could be halfway to Dublin by the time they reach the plane.
Where are you going?
I'm going to get some answers. I'll call you when I have. Mother, wait a minute. Talk to me a minute. Don't. Mother, don't.
Cassie, let her go. Let her go. If anyone can stop her there and find her, it'll be your mother. Meanwhile, I'm going to get over to Lanfear. I want to tell Vicky.
Now?
Yeah, look, I don't want Vicky to read about this in the papers. This is her half-brother.
Well, fine. I'll come with you.
No. Now, you stay here. Someone has to answer the phone in case Blair calls or the police. Now, you don't mind that, do you?
No, fine. Are you sure this isn't going to be easy for Vicky?
I know that. I just hope I can find the right words.
Tina, I can understand why you would feel that way about Blair, but, you know, she's Todd's wife, and he loves her very much.
Oh, with her, it's all an act. Vicky, she's a user. Not that Todd is any perfect angel.
No, that's certainly true enough, but at least I've seen him trying to deal with his past, you know. He has a lot of demons that he has to face, Tina.
Too many, if you ask me.
Maybe. But I think there's hope.
Okay, maybe. Say Todd does make progress. There's still Blair. For every step forward, she pulls him back, too.
Is Todd that you're worried about or Todd's money?
The issue is family.
Is it? Well, maybe you're right, because I certainly know that the way we're raised has an enormous effect on how we act and feel as adults. I know you grew up with very little, Tina, which is why you have a need to have so much now. In your bank account, in your sandwich. Tina, this obsession that you have with money, you have to let it go.
Why, Vicky? Because you have everything you need? I never had anything. Not even now. I'm living in your house. I don't have a penny. All that inheritance money Todd got should have gone to me and my kids, or at least some of it ought to have. But you just don't see it. You had everything perfect. Everything that you always wanted, you got. You're very lucky.
You don't know that.
Oh, I know what it's like living here with all the luxuries. You had the kind of childhood everybody would dream of. Pretty, rich, with a father who idolized you.
You have no idea what you are talking about. You don't know the truth, Tina, and you never will, never.
Take the time during these days to sit quietly and to wait, trusting in thee.
I hope it helps her. I mean, I don't know if she believes or anything, but they say it's a thought that counts.
Oh, Andy will appreciate it. I do. So funny, I said something nice for a change.
I know you did, and I appreciate that, but what's the matter? You didn't think I could read?
No, it's just well, you never showed this side of yourself before. I mean, it's a whole different side.
Well, people have different sides, Max. You know, different sides, different moods. I like surprises, don't you?
That depends upon the surprise. Look, now who?
Where do they think this is? Grand Central Station?
Cord. Hey, Max, I'm sorry. Maggie, hi. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Yeah, Max, why don't you let me? I'd love to see the twins and maybe hold one.
Oh, well, thanks. It's probably Leslie. They're both in my room. Up the stairs, first door.
Okay, I'll find them.
What's she doing here so late?
She brought a present for Andy. Very nice one. One strange lady.
Hey, everybody's strange, Max. Except you, of course.
You got that right. So, what explanation do you have for your midnight hello?
Well, see, the thing is, I've been up trying to figure out exactly how I was going to get into this with you.
Get into this? Is this serious?
I need to talk about Serenity Springs and what exactly it is I'm going to be doing there.
Oh, well, great. I've been wanting to talk to you about that. All the new responsibilities you're going to have covered for me.
Well, that's the problem. I'm not looking for new responsibilities. In fact,
I think I need to step back a little bit.
What?
Asa approached me, and he wants me to come into Buchanan Enterprises with him. In fact, he wants me to run all his current operations.
Are you crazy?
Come here, sweetheart. Come here. My goodness. My goodness. Let's not wake your brother up, okay? Let's not wake Frankie. Okay. Here we go. Oh, shh. My goodness, you are precious, huh? Look at you. You probably miss your mommy. That's what all that fussing was about, huh? Yeah. Come here. But you know something? You are very lucky. You're gonna have a good life, you and your brother. Yeah. You're not alone, Leslie. You know that? You got a daddy that loves you very, very much. Yeah, you do.
Oh, boy, how time flies when a brother gets busy. Yeah, come in.
Do I need an appointment?
Well, let me tell you how glad I am to see you.
Well, I've been available. Home, waiting.
I know. For between the election and the trial, I've got a year's worth of paperwork. And I still haven't thanked you for being so patient.
Hank, you haven't seen me to thank me.
So what do you say I make it up to you, huh?
Go ahead. Make my day.
All right, what's with the look?
You just look so tired. I thought you'd be happier.
Oh, yeah, the big victory, huh? Well, look, there just hasn't been much to celebrate. I hate to see someone like Andy or any officer brought down. I mean, even though I believe that she's guilty, still, I think about what that trial did to my friendship with Bo. It'll never be the same.
Hey, you just give it some time, baby. You did your job. Sooner or later, he'll see that. And the judge passed the verdict on Andy, not you. And meanwhile, I'm hoping that the end of this trial might just be the beginning of more time for us.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Go away.
Hello, Sheila. Hank? I'm sorry, but I didn't have the time to stand outside begging for attention. Hank, I need your help. This is an emergency.
Dorian, go away.
He's dead.
Who's dead?
Todd Manning. Yes, that's right. And I want to know why, and I want to know how. And I have to know right away.
I'm sorry, Angel. I don't mean to let this out on you, out of all people. My whole world is like a bloody Alice in Wonderland. My whole world is turned upside down. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring my troubles to your doorstep. But the short time that we spent in Inniscrag is the one true, bright thing that I'm desperately trying to hang on to now, Margaret. That's why I'm here. I'm begging you, please. Remember the time and believe in it, okay? Believe in us.
I want to, Patrick. I really want to.
I know you're confused. I am too, so just go on and say it.
Your girlfriend, Siobhan, you said she was a secret agent that she'd been shot when she got to the hotel that night.
And that's the truth of it.
Mr. Keneally says the police have a completely different story. That you were famous in Dublin for being violent. That you beat her and that you shot her and then you ran.
It's all lies, Margaret. God strike me down here and now. Of course they're gonna blame me. They're not gonna admit that they killed one of their own,
What
or
about
are
Inspector Quilligan? They said the same gun that shot Javon killed him, too.
And what, that's my gun now, is it? Margaret, until a while ago, I hadn't seen the gun unless it was in the cinema, and now I apologize, Miss Saybrook. It's no use. I shouldn't be here. May I use your telephone, please?
I thought you said you didn't know anyone else here.
That's an old school friend. Haven't seen him in a long time. I heard he's working for the embassy in Washington. Do you mind? Ian Kent owes me a favor or two. Washington, D.C. The Republic of Ireland Embassy, please.
Vicky, what were you talking about? What don't I know?
Never mind, Tina.
No, tell me. I need to hear.
Let it go, Tina. It's Andrew. Andrew, come in.
Something wrong?
I'm sorry to come by so late, Vicky. I saw the lights around. I came around the side.
Something is wrong, huh?
Vicky, I thought you'd want to know this news right away. Blair received a call from the Irish police. Todd was involved in an accident, automobile, and apparently the car went off the side of a cliff.
He's dead? I knew it. Vicky, I knew it the moment he married Blair again. I knew something awful would happen, and I told you.
Be quiet, Tina. Are they sure?
They, found the jacket washed up on shore. Wallet was inside. There's still no body, at least not yet. I'm so terribly sorry, Vicky.
Poor CJ and Sarah know they love Todd.
How is Blair? How's she taking it?
Well, the moment she heard the news, she rushed to the airport and got on a plane to Ireland.
Well, if there's no body, she's probably thinking Todd's still alive.
Is that possible?
As I said, there's confusion about how this happened, but apparently...
So determined that he was going to pull his life together and turn it around and face his problems and accept responsibility for everything that he did. And I really, really thought he was going to do it. He gave me hope. And he's gone.
I still can't believe it. Are you sure about this?
Nobody's sure. And that's why I've come to you.
Wow, Todd Manning dead.
They say the wheels of God grind small.
I have a friend in the State Department. However, he happens to be out of town. I'm sure, Hank, that there is some way that you can get more definite information.
Yeah, hold on.
Thank goodness. Sheila Blair is on her way to Ireland now. She just wants to find out the truth. You see, they haven't found Todd's body yet. There are thousands and thousands of questions.
Yeah. Look, this is the District Attorney, Hank Gannon. I need to talk to Sergeant Landry, please. Right. Wayne, hey. Hank Gannon here. Listen, Wayne, I need a contact in the U.S. Consul's office in Dublin. Right. And also any high official in the Irish police, too. And while you're at it, why don't you see what you can pull up off the computer? Anything about a presumed death of Todd Manning. What? You're kidding me. Now, that's unbelievable.
What happened?
Listen, hold on. A call came into the station. Apparently, Todd Manning's His briefcase was left at the airport in Philly this afternoon, and some guy, he tried to sneak into the country past customs by pasting his picture in Todd Manning's passport.
Who is this guy? More importantly, where is he?
Well, they don't know yet, all right? When they went to check it out, the guy ran, and they haven't been able to find him.
Well, they better find him, because whoever this man is, he's the only one who knows what happened to Todd.
Still no luck tracking down your friend?
No, his number's unlisted. But he's working for the embassy, so I thought I'd take a bus down there tonight and try and catch him in the morning. Assuming that there is a bus running tonight. Does this make sense to you?
I think it's the best way, Patrick.
Of course. Thanks for everything, man. And, really sorry I put you through too much trouble there. Take care, Angel. I can't do this. I know it's wrong. We both know it.
Don't.
Something happened between us in Ireland.
That was a different place. It was a different time.
But it's still real. And if only you allowed yourself to feel what's in your eyes right now. It's only a short while since we said goodbye. Look at me, Margaret. I said I'd come here for you. And it's believing that you were going to be in my arms again that kept me alive. And when I saw you with that man, Dylan, and when he touched you,
Patrick.
God, help me. I know what I'm asking you. And I wish I could just walk away. I wish I could just turn around and keep going, but I can't. I can't do it. No, I won't.
No, I said no.
No, don't fight it. Don't
just get your hands off me.
Angel, please.
Let go. Don't touch me ever again. No.
So, have you been able to find out who this guy is yet?
Immigration and Customs are working on that.
Excuse me, are you aware that this briefcase belonged to a man who's now presumed dead?
The investigation's still ongoing, ma'am.
We are talking about a member of my family.
Whoa, wait a minute, Dorian. When did you and Todd get so close?
When he married my niece, Hank. Remember? Blair needs to know.
Well, when there's something to tell her, she will be told. So back off. Was there anything else?
If you'll initial this list of contents, I'm authorized to leave the case here with you.
Address book, 3 folders of documents, business-related, 1 copy of last Tuesday's Sun, old diary, 1 wedding photo.
Still Todd.
Are you aware that he still has not
Market
given
recorder,
me the diary?
He took it with him to
silver
Ireland.
pen and calculator.
Andrew, come here for a minute. Can there be a service without a body?
Well, yes, of course. If that's what Blair wants, we could certainly put a marker in the cemetery. Yes.
When, though? When? I know it takes 7 years. You can't declare somebody legally dead for at least that long, right? And their estate stays in probate, and their assets are frozen, right? That's something like that.
Tina, for God's sake!
What? What did I say? What? Oh, it's not for me. I'm not asking this for me. I'm thinking about Blair. That's all, not money.
I hope so, Tina. I mean, I really hope so.
Well, I am. I am. It's just... Look, I need to go to court and have him help me tell the kids this news. So, are you going to be here in a little while? Good, then, I'll be back, Vicki, okay? Bye.
Vicki, is there anything else that I can do for you? Anything?
I wish there were. I wish there was something I could do. But it's too late, isn't it? You know, Andrew, they were an awful lot alike, Father and Todd. The good and the bad all put together. All in one.
Oh my God. Oh, God. Vicky.
Andrew, pray with me, please.
Of course.
Please,
yes.
Please.
Vicky, I'm here. Father in heaven, grant us mercy. This time of need, give us strength, comfort. Help us find the peace and understanding to deal with our tragedies. We pray for this. We pray for this. In your name, amen.
Get away.
All right. I'm not coming near you. There's no problem. Everything's fine. Everything's just fine.
You have no rights with me. None.
I know that now, Margaret. But you know, I built these dreams in my head for us, and that's just the way I am. Always believing in something.
Andrew.
3 days and no sleep. Always looking over my shoulder, just trying to get here to you. I'll leave in just a second, all right? And I swear, I'll be out of your way forever. Let me have a breather, okay? That's all I'm asking. That's all.
All right.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm in your debt.
Take this.
What is it?
Drink it. It'll help you sleep. Go on, take it.
I just need a minute, all right? That's all I need. It's just...
I was depending on you to take over day-to-day operations in Serenity Springs. Until at least I get roadies changed the way I like it, I need you.
I appreciate that, Max.
No, not enough.
Look, this is a family thing. Asa has never asked me for anything. He's asking this. He's getting on in years, and to tell you the truth, I don't know how I turn this down.
Tell him no.
It's not just that. This would be a great challenge. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Buchanan Enterprises grosses in the billions, Max.
Wake up, would you? Asa is not going to give up any power. You're going to end up being a glorified flunky, that's it.
I don't think so. That's not what he's telling
open
me.
your eye. He's playing your chord. I don't know what his game is, but trust me, just open your eyes on this. I don't believe it. What is wrong with me?
You want to go first?
Come in, sweetie. Oh, please.
You're wrong. This is Grand Central Station, the Oltl House, the place to be after midnight.
All right, look, you go take care of the baby. I'll get the door, all right?
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna help. No.
Good idea. Somebody better.
Cord.
Tina, whoa, hey, what's going on?
It is awful. I still can't believe it. Todd is dead.
What?
Todd, he's dead. My own brother. I just can't get over it. I mean, I really didn't even know him that well. Not really.
All right, just slow down. Tell me, what happened, Tina?
Nobody knows for sure what happened, but what about the kids? How are we going to tell the kids, knowing how much they love Todd?
Man, it just never quits, does it? Boy, this is going to be rough on Blair.
Come on, sweetheart. It's all right. Oh, I know.
You able to get her to sleep?
No, not yet.
You want me to take over?
No. Thanks for helping. I know it's late.
Well, it's okay. I'm a night owl anyway. Is Frankie still sleeping?
I think so. He seems to always sleep through it all. It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just pulled the covers up over him.
Oh, hey, look, don't worry about it. There's only one thing that ever pulls him out of dreamland. That's because he's got the call of the grumbling tummy. My hands are full.
Oh, sure. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. How about one of these? It's tough to manage. 3 kids.
We're fine. We're a family. We're doing fine.
Nora, it's Tina. Would you please call me back? I'm needing to know the name of a good estate attorney. Also, I need to know, how long do we have to wait for a will to get probated if there is no body? That's it. Hi to Bo, and call me back as soon as you get this. Thanks. Bye. All right. Well, at least the ball is rolling anyway.
Tina, don't you think it's a little early to be talking about wills? I mean, you yourself just said 2 minutes ago that you're not even sure if the man is really dead.
So, what good is it gonna do to wait? So if he turns up alive, that's great. This is a family crisis in progress, and somebody needs to know all the facts.
Oh, right. You're head of the family now. I forgot.
Oh, poor, look, I don't want to hear about it. My brother is gone, and in life, it's just a fragile thing. And that's the lesson that ought to be learned in all of this. I just want to make sure that if anything happened to you and I, that both kids are secure. That's all I want, and that's all you should want.
There we go, back to sleep. Like there's nobody else in the room.
I wish she were the same way.
Yeah, he's something. It's very strange.
Oh, he's the perfect kid. Let's hope he never changes.
Yeah, let's hope.
Whoa, hey, quiet. She's closing her eyes here.
Here, why don't you let me try?
Don't. She's closing them on her own, but just let's quit with the sudden noises, okay? What's wrong?
What?
You're serious. Is everything all right?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? So I called the airport in Dublin and left a message for her to call just to let us know that everything's all right.
All right, then. We'll just have to wait and see.
Maybe we should go home in case she decides to check in on her own, and Mrs. Brimmer is still with her.
Okay. It's all right with you?
Yes, I'm fine. Thanks, Andrew. And Tina will be back soon.
Vicky, you sure?
You know, Todd came to see me the night before his wedding. He wanted to know if I thought that he could ever be happy or if he could ever make anyone else happy. He thought he was living under some kind of a curse, some violent, angry curse that he inherited from our father, and he didn't know if he could ever overcome it.
What did you tell him?
I told him to fight it. I told him I was quite sure he could make a new life as long as he kept trying.
Well, I think that was right.
Was it? Andrew, what if there is a curse? What if there is a violent curse on this house and on this family?
All right, we appreciate it. Good night.
Oh, you're right, Sheila. Just look at the time. My goodness. Oh, you know, I can save you an awful lot of trouble by taking this over to Blair's now, because I know that she would like to have it.
Dorian, Blair can take a look at this when she gets back from Ireland. Right now, this briefcase is going to go into storage as evidence.
Evidence?
Mm-hmm. An illegal immigrant case. And who knows, in the end, maybe more. So listen, don't you worry your pretty little head. It'll be in perfectly good hands with the police. And I'll have the lab go over everything first thing in the morning.
Now, Hank, remember that rightfully that briefcase
Dorian, don't push me. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I will let you know if I hear anything else. Good night.
Thank you so much. Good night, Sheila.
Night.
She never quits, does she?
No.
Why did Todd take that diary with him?
Patrick?
Don't you dare.
Sheila, baby, I'm sorry. I have to take it. I'm sorry. Yeah, Hank Gannon.
Hank, hi. They told me you were still there. It's Marty. Look, I need your help.
Marty, hold on. Hold on a second, please.
I know. You have to take that call.
Hey, gotta go. Gotta go. Thanks, baby. Thanks. Okay, Marty, I'm here. What's the problem? You sound scared.
I am.
Well, Marty, come on, I can't hear you. Speak up a little bit, all right? What happened?
I can't. I have to be quiet because there's someone here with me.
Where are you now?
I'm at home, but I'm not alone. His name is Patrick Thornhart. I met him in Ireland.
And?
Well, when I first met him, I trusted him, but now I'm not so sure because he told me all these stories, and they just seem so wild.
Well, no, wait a minute now. Slow down here. Tell me about this guy, all right? When did he get into the country?
Tonight.
Now, Marty, listen to me, okay? Did he come in illegally? I mean, there's some reports of a man turning up at the airport holding Todd Manning's passport. Is that the man in your house, Marty? Marty, answer me. Look, if this man is who I think he is, he can be very dangerous. Do you understand? Very